Welcome to the Unclehack Podcast, where dudes pretty much just talk dude shit.
It's a great day to be alive, isn't it, folks? We're here, we're queer, we're living, we're loving, we're laughing, and I present to you a brand new studio. Oh, Lord. Well, studio setup. We're trying to up our game around here. You know, no more looking at the TV with me no more. Now I can stare right down the barrel. I see the criticism online. I try to take it in, soak it in, and not allow it to attack my ego. But here we are. An updated look at the new version of the Unclehack Podcast. Maybe every week we add something new to it. So that way, I don't know, to keep you guys interested in the most popular podcast from Taber, Alberta. Such a feat. Anyways, fucking, if you were a Patreon subscriber, you would have seen that this is the new format. You would have seen that. So patreon.com/DangerCats69. Get yourself an exclusive episode every week. I'm going to try and upload more content to there. I got a little downtime, so I got to fill up a little time. Recently, I put a little joke that I wrote and performed on the weekend on there. Happy Father's Day. So, we're trying new things around here. We got to up the stakes, as they say. So, patreon.com/DangerCat69. Upcoming stand-up dates. July 20th in Grand Prairie, Alberta. July 24th, San Jose, California. July 25th, Brea, California at the Improv. And same with San Jose at the Improv. North Hollywood, July 26th at the Haha. July 27th, we're in Pasadena at the Ice House. That's in California. August 17th, humbling ourselves by heading out to Thunder Bay, Ontario. This will be the third attempt on heading out there. So all of you that have tickets to that show or had tickets to the previous show, they have been updated for that. It's the same with September 6th in Edmonton. If you had tickets to that show, that was scheduled in the spring. It has been rescheduled to September 6th in Edmonton. September 26th, we are in Comox, British Columbia, another reschedule. September 27th, Victoria, BC. October 19th, Fort St. John, BC. And December 19th in Oxnard, California. Yay, a little vacation in December. Isn't that nice? Right before Christmas. Oh boy, treat yourself. Hack tickets at dangercatshop.com. Another lovely day to be alive. We're really, stop that. We're really soaking it in around here. We're really upping our game. We're taking a little breather. People have, I think, forgotten that we existed. So that's beautiful. There's emails in this country are devastating, and they may take a toll on your psyche. We've gotten bad emails before, and we know how we all feel afterwards. You need an ice cream after. You need to feel good again, right, folks? And speaking of feeling good, a lot of us were captured by a moment that took place in the last series of the Oilers playoff run, right, against Dallas. There was a particular moment where men and women and all sorts of people, races, religions. You had hockey fans, soccer fans, all sorts of sports fans coming together and celebrate a moment of fan history, right? We talked about it. That lady gave us 2 reasons to smile. And those were big smiles. But some of the internet decided that they didn't enjoy that. And we only want to spread positivity on this podcast. That's what we're known for. And that's what we're going to continue to do, is spread positivity, right? But she responded, And we're happy for this. I believe that many men that have a lot of downtime in their job, right? We tried to figure out who is this individual, this profile-less individual that dumped him out for the whole world to consume. And we were joyous about this moment that took place in sports history. In fact, we celebrated it, as we should. We weren't here to knock that moment down. We weren't here to steal that girl's shine. You know, we propped it up. And I know maybe in my tone, in my delivery, it might have come across in such a ignorant manner. But that is my fault. Okay? That is my fault. But we got a response from her, and it's all over the internet. And I cannot wait to show you. This is the perfect way how you respond to anything on the fucking internet. Beautiful. You know, makes me proud to be from the province that I'm from. Look at this. Isn't this nice, folks? No more looking at the fucking TV beside me. For those that are listening on Spotify or iTunes, I would like to say this before we get into this. Please leave a review on the podcast. Do that for me. I got to do that a little more. I got to encourage the audience to do things for me. I got to play like puppeteer here. Go down and rate the podcast. Why don't we do that? But if you're on YouTube and you're watching this, hit the subscribe button and leave a comment down below about the new setup. Am I feeling like a YouTuber yet? But look at this. We have the response here loaded up. We're going to watch this together and enjoy another moment of internet history here. Look at this. Wow. Uncle Hack.
Oilers girl. Actually, my name's Kate, but here we are. So I've thought long and hard about what I wanted to say to everybody. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm at one of my favorite places right now. Come here to do some thinking, we'll call it. But I just wanted to say, you could be the most perfect, godly fucking person in the world. You could save kittens from a river if they were drowning. Someone's still gonna hate you. So you know what? At the end of the day, I got drunk and whipped my tits out at an Oilers game and they went viral. Fuck you if you don't like it. Woo! Go.
You know, it doesn't get better than that. It doesn't get better than a response like that. I got drunk at an Oilers game and whipped my tits out, so fuck you if you don't like it. What an angel. That is a true Alberta girl right there. And I'm not talking Edmonton or Calgary. I'm suspecting that this woman is from outside. Now, I don't want to put it out there where she's from or anything like that. That's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the response, folks. That's what I'm talking about. Owning it. Just owns it. Fuck you if you don't like it. Oh, God. What an angel. We applaud you. I swear to God, if anybody knows her, let her know. 2 free tickets to a Danger Cat show. What am I doing out here? I'm the Oprah of podcasts today. I am feeling good. After a response like that, you deserved it. You earned it. And who's hating on that? Who is honestly hating on that? How do you get upset at a woman that wants to bear it all at a sporting event? Fucking libs. I will blame the libs. The libs are doing this. The libs are in her comments telling, oh, you should grow up. I thought the libs were all about this. I thought the libs were all about getting the guns out, but I guess I am wrong. That upsets me. You know, let's go back. Let's go for a little walk through this one more time.
Oilers girl. Actually,
I like how she claims that. She deserves that. Oilers girl here.
My name's Kate, but
Kate.
Here we are. So I've thought long and hard about what I...
Oh yeah, that's rural Alberta. Hard. That I've thought long and hard. That is rural Alberta to a T. To a T. As soon as you hear hard. Magnificent.
Wanted to say to everybody, anybody who knows me knows that I'm at one of my favorite places right now.
You're goddamn right you are.
Come here to do some thinking, we'll call it. But I just wanted to say, you could be the most perfect, godly fucking person in the world. You could save kittens from a river if they were drowning. Someone's still gonna hate you. So you know what? At the end of the day, I love
that she's comparing saving kittens out of essentially what she did. I think you cured depression, to be honest. I'm not even being like sarcastic here. You know how many men you probably put a smile on their face with that action? You know how many men were probably having a bad day and then they hit Twitter and they were like, oh, maybe life is worth living. And I agree with her on comparing that to saving kittens from a river. You saved men. What do we say? What is this month again? Remind me? Oh, right. Men's Mental Health Month. Kate here has done more for men's mental health than anybody in the fucking country. Okay? During the time when a lot of male attention is directed towards playoff hockey, she then, in her drunken fine moment, decides that this is the time to shine, and she probably saved a few fellas from sticking their head in a noose. You know, a few guys were looking at a few light standards heading home, and prior to that, they got a glimpse of the calcium cannons, the old milkers, giving a jiggle up there in the fucking first bowl. And all they said to themselves is, you know what? Today is not the day. So yes, you deserve to compare what you did to saving kittens from a river. You deserve that. And I'm not going to take that away from you.
Drunk and whipped my tits out at an Oilers game and they went viral? Fuck you if you don't like it. Woo! Go Oilers.
Oh, I'm getting chills. That might be the greatest saying in the province's history, right here.
Got drunk and whipped my tits out at an Oilers game and they went viral? Fuck you if you don't like it.
What an angel.
Go Oilers.
What a fucking angel, you know? It does not get any better than that, folks. That is the response that we got to have to a lot of things, I believe. That's the response that we got to have to a lot of the shit that's taking place on this planet. Respect. We are not going to sit here and allow people to step on that woman's shine. In fact, we're here to project it. We don't slut shame, we slut fame. I'm not alluding that you're a slut by any means. There was some behavior there that could be considered a little whorish. It could be, but we're not here to do that. That is not our job. That is not our job. We spread love and positivity on this show. So when I say slut fame, that is a positive connotation attached to that. Okay? I had to think about that for a second. It's beautiful. Truly remarkable on what some humans are capable just by their body parts, you know? No words needed, no nothing. Spread just love and happiness with organs. It does not get any better than that. It made me feel like a young man again. That's what that did. Made me feel like a young man watching her do her thing like that. Watching, you know. But the problem with this country is when we have that, then we have what's about to come up next here. And, you know, we steer in a different direction. And now I want to preface this. Now, the headline here reads, Mother demands changes after McDonald's burned, or Mother demands change after Child burned by scalding hot tea at Ontario McDonald's. Okay, now I want to preface this by saying that the child being burnt is not the laughing matter here. We're not going to laugh at a child getting injured on this show. Okay, especially when it's something of burns on a 5-year-old little girl. That is not what we're going to laugh at. Okay, we're not going to laugh at that. That is something that's beneath us. Okay, we're better than that. And when I say beneath us, I mean like, you get what I'm saying. You're like, no, Hack, keep going. Talk your way out of this. Now, let's let the tape.
Being hurt and pain has been the most difficult in all of this. Nobody wants to see their kids in pain. Nobody wants to not receive help.
But that's exactly what Samantha Wynn says happened.
Holy shit. Could they have found a better reporter for this? What the hell was that?
Wants to not receive help.
But that's exactly what Samantha Wynn says happened.
But that's exactly what. Dear Lord. What the hell is that voice? That sounds like when somebody's mocking a nerd. But that's exactly what. Now, here's where it gets next level. Okay. Now we found the defense to the sobbing white woman. We found the defense to this, and we're going to get into it. I'm cliffhangering this.
Maybe do some artwork.
Her daughter Jade is home recovering from second-degree burns after the family was served a meal at the restaurant over the weekend.
An unopened tea fell off the tray and onto my daughter. And then all of a sudden she screamed.
Now, here's the problem I have with a lot of like suburban white women is like, this is what, why is there not, why did you have the tray with the lid not attached to the hot tea? Are you carrying the tray? Now this is your fault, and you're passing the buck to migrant workers, right? Immigrants on work visas. Because let's be honest, we've all been to a McDonald's lately. Not exactly Canadians working in there, Not exactly, but that is what I call the defense to sobbing white women. Because look at now, now she runs to the news, and the news is like, oh, this is a hot, juicy story, and I don't put any emphasis on hot, and I know we're walking a fine line with this fucking story, all right? A child was burnt. That's not funny. I just find it hilarious that now they have reached their peak. They have met their match, and it's migrant workers. They do not give a shit. They don't care. Half of them want to go back. They're tired of this shit. It was better back home in their minds, They don't give a single shit about the sobbing white woman. Now in our culture, this happens around us. Oh my God. 10 years ago, this is basically murder. This woman would not be running to the news. She'd be filing a lawsuit, right? She'd be filing a lawsuit. McDonald's would have a big payout. But now the currency is attention. We see it everywhere. And now the attention doesn't go any further than the local news. Now, I would imagine most of you have not seen this article because we don't care anymore. Now our issues are deeper. Our issues are bigger than what this woman's going through. Children get hurt all the time. You read this 10 years ago, you'd have been like, fucking McDonald's. Fucking McDonald's. Those sons of bitches. And you would have had a rise up. People would have been all over this, but now no one seems to care. Why is that? Prior, you see a crying white woman, you're like, what the fuck is going on, man? This is not good. What are we gonna do to fix this problem, fellas? I don't know what to do here. And then the migrants start coming. Not that they haven't been here all along. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that migrants and then all of a sudden what? More show up? And now? But now they've met their match as we get further into this article here, folks.
And I realized that her shirt was wet.
Samantha says she yelled for help inside of this McDonald's multiple times until another customer handed her some cold water. She says a manager then gave her a single cold cloth.
My child is standing there and her skin is peeling. And I'm trying to keep myself checked. I'm trying to keep myself and her, like, just not to go into shock. And I couldn't leave her to go get the first aid kit myself.
But paramedics arrived at the scene, transporting Jade to hospital where she spent 3 days. Samantha says these burns from the hot tea cover 12% of her 5-year-old daughter's body, keeping her home from school for at least a few weeks. The incident has also left Jade traumatized. The family says this shouldn't have happened.
It's not that I want to see people lose.
See, now, with this comes my concern. Is this person detached from the actual problem that takes place? See, this is a perfect opportunity for where we can talk about accountability, right? And when we can talk about these things that that occur, these actions and these mistakes that take place, right? You know, we live in this weird, twisted culture where nothing is our fault. Nothing we do, right? I'm walking quite the line with this one. I don't know why I watched this and my first initial thought was, you know, this is exactly what happens when you have minimum wage workers. It's like nobody came to assist me. It's like they're making $12 an hour. They're already tapped out, you know? 13 guys just went through the drive-thru and called them racial slurs. They're at their wits' end. These folks don't know first aid. None of them are like medically equipped or medically educated to come and assist you. And your mistake of spilling your hot tea on your daughter. I'm assuming this is her fault, by the way. I'm assuming that this is a mistake. It fell off the tray, so I'm assuming, okay, there's a lot of assumption here that this woman is carrying a tray, spills hot tea on her daughter, and starts looking at all the different minorities in there and be like, I'm picking one of you and you're going down. Now, this is the new war. This is the new war. White women against the migrants. They have to take charge on this because white guys, they get bashed. White dudes want to talk about this type of stuff. They start getting a little, you know, people get uneasy when the crackers start yapping, right? When the fucking fellas start yapping about this stuff. And it's very difficult to talk about race these days because everything is racist, as I've learned. Everything you say in regards to another race, you know, it could be just an offhand funny comment. That's racist, right? But somehow in the oppression Olympics, white women were able to, like Bill Burr said, would step over that red rope and put themselves right in the mix and lead the charge on this. And now they're receiving the treatment that most of us get. And when I say that, I'm just saying people in general, just everyday people. I don't care about your walk of life, but this is the treatment that we get. It's like we have a problem. No one fucking cares. You know, I understand a child is involved here and it took somebody else, it took another customer to step up to the plate and assist this child in what was occurring, right? Because maybe this person is medically trained, does have first aid, so they're able to do this. But the expectation that the rest of the world is supposed to care about our problems is very, very, very difficult to understand in the moment of distress. And you get a first-hand lesson, and the first idea is like running to you're not going to believe what happened to me, and we gotta carry on. It's like,
and
sorry,
I'm trying to keep myself checked. I'm trying to keep myself and her, like, just not to go into shock, and I couldn't leave her to go get the first aid kit myself.
But paramedics arrived at the scene, transporting Jade to hospital, where she spent 3 days. Samantha says these burns from the hot tea covered 12% of her 5-year-old daughter's body, keeping her home from school for at least a few.
Not cool. Okay, not cool. I don't like seeing children hurt. That upsets me. But it's the thing that irritates me with this one is like the initial thought, you know, like to think that running to the news is the solution to this, you know. That's what irritates me. I think the news should be reporting on issues that truly matter to us. But this is journalism because this somehow can outrage you or it draws you in because of like there is a child involved. You know, we see a lot of these issues arise that the only way to get our attention directed to it is like involving children. We see that with the Palestine-Israel war. We've seen it with the trucker convoy. We see it with like the anti-drag protests. It's like the children are in the forefront of the propaganda war. And this is a good way of getting your story in front of more eyeballs is what I'm seeing here. And I don't blame this mom. This mom is supposed to care. This mother is supposed to care. I get that. But I feel like this issue in particular is a little bit of incompetence of a woman carrying a tray without a lid on her tea. And now is like pointing at McDonald's and being like, you fucking make the tea too hot. It's like, maybe get some fucking balance. You never carried anything before? What the hell's going on here? Now your poor girl has like all these burns on her because you're tripping over your own fucking feet and a tea falls on this poor little child.
Weeks. The incident has also left Jade traumatized. The family says this shouldn't have happened.
It's not that I want to see people lose their jobs or anything like that, but I want the company to take ownership and...
You know, this guy, this is where it, hold on. We're going to go back just a hair. We're going to let this guy speak. And then this is where it truly irritated me.
People lose their jobs or anything like that, but I want the company to take ownership and at least have maybe higher level employees like management just better set up.
McDonald's tells Global News that it takes these situations very seriously and that the franchisee is investigating.
Hold on, Miss Hand.
But the family says there are clear problems that need to be fixed.
How hot McDonald's drinks are, how there's no regulations to the temperatures of their tea.
Come on. No regulations on the temperature of the tea. It's hot water. You ordered hot water in a tea bag. Come on. Plus, we're talking about McDonald's here. You know, when did McDonald's get put up in this upper echelon of fine dining as if like we're like you go into it's McDonald's. The workers there are making minimum wage and you're expected to have a 5-star fucking treatment when you walk through the door of there. My Lord, there's a play place. There's a play. You know what I mean? There's fucking ball pits and slides in there. It's a zoo. It's a truck stop, for Christ's sakes. They don't even give a fuck what's in the food. You think they give a shit about regulation of a temperature? Come on. You know, this is where it gets irritating is like parents always trying to make problems, other people's bullshit. You know, you're trying to scoop this in the pile of like things we should care about when it's your own incompetence of unable to stabilize yourself while carrying a fucking tea. You know what I mean, folks? Am I wrong here? Am I losing my mind? Am I been sitting too long on the internet that I view this as a very minuscule problem apart from the woman or the child being burnt? That is the major issue here. I don't think it has anything to do. And now I'm contradicting what I say by saying that, oh, well, it's the child being burnt. Well, what if the tea was regulated? What do we got to do next? We got to hire chemists to make fucking tea at McDonald's right now? Christ almighty. I mean, we've been through the drive-thru. You get 8 different accents. In the process of getting your food, purchasing it, and ordering it. 8 different accents. These people come from war-torn countries, you know? They're like, this woman's crying over her spilling tea on her daughter, okay? Meanwhile, the woman behind the counter watched her child get blown to pieces in the Syrian war. She goes, sorry, Habibi, we didn't mean to burn your child. This reminds me of when my child kind of went through something similar. That's why we had to escape. Oh, I don't know why the accent is a little bit Mexican. Oh, but I sympathize. At least you have your daughter here with you. Mine is back home. We fled the war. I slept 19 days in a tent in the fields of Yemen. To then we were transported to a boatyard and shipped here in a container. And my husband was held hostage for 13 days until he could pay a total of, our life savings. We gave everything we had just to be here, to work at a McDonald's. I'm very sorry that this happened to you. And she has to look this woman in the eyes, okay? We're talking about a country that's been carpet bombed. She has to look this woman in her eyes as all of her children back home have been, and I say this with utmost respect because I don't know what it's like to lose a child, okay? And we're walking a fine line here. I know, I'm an idiot, shouldn't be talking about this particular issue. But we have a serious case on our hands. And we need McDonald's to investigate this and have training. The moment that these migrants get off that fucking plane, they should be put into a school system propped up by McDonald's so that way they understand a temperature gauge on the tea. You know, for the year and a half contract that they have to work here, 3-year contract, whatever it is, they should be put through extensive schooling so that they're capable of flipping a burger at a franchisee's restaurant, a franchisee's owner's restaurant in Mississauga or wherever the fuck this is. Am I right? No, Coburg, Ontario. Before that migrant touches down, they got to get a full fucking breakdown on how a deep fryer works. And then we get into these issues.
How we want the national regulations of the water to be changed.
Samantha also wants better labeling and packaging for hot drinks to keep this from happening again.
You don't need to be scared, JD. You're okay.
The family is starting work on a petition to limit how hot water can be served at restaurants. It's also considering legal action. Jermaine Maugh, Global News, Northumberland County.
Holy shit. You know, the father's just like, that's what the father has to sit there and just be like, yeah, no, you're right, honey. You're right, honey. No. Yeah, totally. Yeah, no, you're right, honey. I'm with you. Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, baby. Don't you worry. I'm right there beside you. I'm listening. You know, you got to pretend like you care about what she's saying. You have to pretend that what your wife is mad about, you're mad about, even though you probably are a little pissed about the wife. What were you doing with such a fucking hot tea with no lid on it? What were you doing? You know, you can't say that on national television because then a domestic breaks out and, you know, we're going to stand here. It is insane. It is. Oh, we got to get fucking, But that, folks, is the world we live in right now. We're all victims of some sort of crime. Now, this is a fun one, okay? This is going to be fun for the whole family. Now, in honor of Father's Day, DoorDash partnered with a trans man who claims have taken on the role of both mother and father, who views that her wife's pregnancy as simply growing some babies. Holy Christ. the fathers, you can't win, can you? The fathers just cannot catch a break. Father's Day took place. I hope you took your dad out for steaks, a round of golf, whatever it is. The old man went, took the old man fishing. That's a great thing, isn't it? Gave him a call. Let him have a day to himself. That's what fathers are looking for. They just want a day to themselves. Just to enjoy a little bit of fucking peace and solitude. Isn't that what we all want at the end of the day? And just a little peace and solitude. And then you have to look, you get this sort of advertising, and this is a little bit like that Dylan Mulvaney scenario. Remember when they put Dylan Mulvaney on the beer can, and we were all supposed to celebrate this? And I know, listen, if you want to be trans, that's great. That's fucking awesome. Do whatever it is that's going to make you happy and get through this life. It's short enough as it is. I'm not going to shit on you for any of the decisions that are made, but these corporations are really fucking starting to drive it home how much they do not care. That's the issue I have. It has nothing to do with anybody that wants to be trans. And good for this person for collecting the bag. I imagine DoorDash paid them handsomely for this little commercial that they made. And we can't talk that. Get the bag. Get the bag. Get your money. Oh no, internal temp too high, so we can only get about a half an hour out of this. Our apologies here at the Uncle Hack podcast. We had to allow a camera to cool down, and we're back, folks, and that's all that matters. As we were talking about Father's Day. Not up there in the most prestigious of days, and like we were talking about earlier, men's mental health, and that gets put on to the side burner, when some corporations need to project themselves as moral beings and virtue signal that they're adding to the community. We then are forced to almost pat ourselves on the back for championing this type of behavior that these oligarchs shovel down our throat. And a lot of us just sit back. None of us truly really care, and it annoys us more than anything. That's what I find, is you see this and you're like, Jesus Christ, can we knock it off? We're tired of the commercials, You get on a good app, like, for instance, when TikTok, this is where this ad is, by the way, and we'll get to it, and I'm sorry, I keep talking about it, but I'm not showing you it, but a good app always starts and there's no advertising, just punishing you constantly. And then the companies start hammering on you, like TikTok advertising in the beginning was just these junk products from all like Alibaba, like some shitty fucking shower nozzle that you're supposed to have. And then they show, remember the dumb commercials that you would see on there, and you were like, oh wow, the pressure of this shower nozzle, the shower head is incredible. I must have this. And it even comes out in this very unique sequence that, it just captures the eye. I just need this in my house. And now we've grabbed a gear and we've westernized the advertising rather than Chinese products, So now DoorDash is infiltrated the ad space of TikTok, and we got to make sure that we have a trans man to celebrate Father's Day with. And it just becomes nauseating at this point. It's not even about the people that are in it. It's just the messaging behind it. It's constantly there. You just I just want to watch what the algorithm is giving me, and it's handicapped kids cooking and saying the N-word. And followed up with that, conspiracy theory and history facts. That's it. That's all I need. It's a wild algorithm, and it figured me out quite quickly. But let's give this a watch together as a family. I am your daddy.
Celebrating Father's Day as a trans man means so much more to me than just some holiday celebrating dad. Before my transition, Arlo would celebrate me on both Mother's Day and Father's Day because I took on both roles. Even then, Arlo saw me for who I am, and it really did mean the world to me. But even now,
who is
as a
Arlo?
dad of
The
three,
cat?
I know I have twins on the way who feels complete in my body and my soul. I can celebrate Father's Day like never before. And with Francesca growing those twins, I wanted my Father's Day present to be stress-free as possible. So I made sure that they got my gift on DoorDash. Not only did they pull it off, but we made it an outdoor movie night with the family. Everything we ordered, we got on DoorDash. I've always loved the simple things in life. Movies are my favorite thing in the world, right after spending time with my family. This is what...
Now I'm going to come here with a man's background and a man's perspective, right? Sitting here and watching a movie, and this is very female-like, okay? We're going to rewind this, this is not a regular Father's Day.
I can celebrate Father's Day like never before.
No one, first off, is ordering products like a projector screen and setting it up in the backyard for dad. Okay, nobody's doing that. And I'm talking about regular families, What is Father's Day? Up until grade 5, you get a macaroni piece of art that you get to put on the fridge, and you say thank you, and you appreciate the kid's art. And then it's usually followed up with some form of chore, right? You want to go fishing that day, so you got to, you take the kids fishing. And it's like, all right, yeah, any dad is like, nice, yeah, I'll take the kids fishing. I'll take them to do an activity that I wanted to do anyways. It's fun. I'm sharing an experience with my kids, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, yeah, every deadbeat out there. No, a father wants to do some shit, some guy shit with their kids. Let's go to a baseball game, I don't even like baseball, but if my dad took me to a baseball game and he wanted to go, I'd be like, yeah, fuck yeah, why not? Crush some dogs, watch some sports. I'm fucking down with that. Hang out with the old man. Let him talk about his Harley. Let him talk about whatever the hell he's in his head. Let him have his day. Let him have his fucking day. This is a lot of female activities that are happening here. There's really like, nobody, hey, we set up a projector in the backyard and we watch scary movies with one another, If you would have said, now that's the dead giveaway, is a scary movie. Men want horror movies or depictions of war. You'd want to watch Scarface with the family, maybe Slapshot, a good classic comedy. No guy is going like, well, let's watch a scary movie. I think there's still a little bit of work to do upstairs, and mentally. As much as we want, I'm accepting of trans men trying to be men. I'm accepting of that. But there's some rules here, some guidelines. You got to get up to speed on how we truly are. None of us are sitting here and be like, oh, I'd love to watch a scary movie tonight. None of us say that. No guy is saying that. The old man, you imagine the old man kicks in the door and he goes, hey kids, you want to watch a scary movie? You're like, ugh, get out of here. That's like lame stepdad shit. You kids want to watch a scary movie with me? Huh? What do you say? Let's watch Scooby-Doo. That's a scary one, isn't it, kids? Fuck out of here.
With Francesca growing those twins, I wanted my Father's Day present to be stress-free as possible. So I made sure that they got my gift on DoorDash. Not only did they pull it off...
See, again, more female behavior. That's female behavior. No guy is over the shoulder looking at me like, no, order that, honey. Give me that and give me this. That's female behavior. To be over the shoulder looking at the apps. No, buy me this. That's female behavior. Any decent man knows that, right? Any guy listening to this podcast, are you looking over the shoulder? You know what you do? You go out, you get the fucking tools that you want. Don't let anybody buy the tools for you. Yeah, you got to tell them specifically, and it's like, just give me the fucking gift card. Give me the gift card. I'll go get it. Nobody's looking over. I made sure I got all the gifts. That's fucking, knock it off. You want to be in the club. You want to be accepted. You need to have a little bit of like internal misery. You got to have that. You got to internalize your emotions, you know, because this whole talking about emotions thing isn't working. Now there's a fucking month where we got to like worry about our mental health. We got to talk about it. And it's like, I'm better with not, you know. Men's mental health is easily solved. Remove women from the equation. We don't need you talking about it, right? We appreciate the attempts, but you're making it worse. You're making it worse for most of us that do give a shit about our buddies' mental health. You want to know how this is how easily solved it is. Ring on the phone. Buddy, how you doing? Good. You know, shit's fucking all right around here. Yeah, all right. Well, hey, what do you say? We go and fucking grab a few beers down at the local watering hole. You know, I don't even care if we got. And this is me talking. This is Hack, your boy. And I'm telling you, man, I'm thinking of you. How's shit going? You know, I'll even put my horse shit aside and I'll go to a Boston Pizza with you. How does that sound? Sounds great. All right. And then you get shooting the shit. You talk about your problems. You get them off your chest and you're fine. Well, I feel like, you know, you just bitch. That's how we get over it. We just bitch with one another, you know, and be like, she fucking won't let up about the fucking, you know, whatever, insert issue. She won't let up about, Jesus Christ, about sweeping the fucking patio a certain way. You know, when you sweep the patio. And now I got to hear about it for 3 fucking days. It's like, shut the fuck up, you know? Like, most of our problems can be resolved with simply shutting the fuck up and a little silence, you know? And not everything needs to be talked about, but when we get with our boys, we talk about it. We get it off our chest. We don't, hey, make sure you get me this and get me that and get me this. It's just like, you know what the best Father's Day gift would be? Silence. A silent day. Just no talking. Don't talk. Silence. Let me sit in a recliner and stare at a television. Let me watch sports. You want to watch a scary movie with me? Get the fuck out of here. And this isn't even an attack on the trans guy. I'm just saying, if you want to be a part of the group, you want to be a part of the club, you got to fucking start acting like it. You know, similar to like trans ladies. You got to like, if we're squinting and looking at it and being like, something's off there, but I don't know what it is, that's passing. That's passing. You can't let women do it, you know, because they're all like, look what happens. Look what happens. All of a sudden, women take the charge and then fucking Lizzo's hot. And then we say, oh, you look like Lizzo, and they get mad. How does that happen? See what happens when they lead? You end up with a fucking conundrum of bullshit. So it's infuriating. I'm getting irritated just talking about it. That's a portion of the show. Like, this is all for entertainment purposes, of course. Do not take anything I say literal. But me, oh my, lads, gents, fellas, you know, the frustration of a straight man. We don't even need white in there. Straight male. The representation is real off these days. You know, we need to bring back the 90s just for fucking, give me 10 more minutes of it, you know. 10 more minutes. Let me shine. Let me have my fucking moment in the sun. You know, that's it. That's all I'm asking. 10 more minutes in the sunshine. I'll shut the fuck up the rest of my life. I don't want to hear about this. Female activities fucking telling me, Happy Father's Day.
Off, but we made it an outdoor movie night with the family. Everything we ordered, we got on DoorDash. I've always loved the simple things in life. Movies are my favorite thing in the world, right after spending time with my family. This is what being a dad is all about. Celebrate.
I'm irritated. This is what being a dad's all about. Who impregnated the woman? Who knocked her up? Who knocked that broad up? If you're... Science tells me... Who knocked her up? Whose sperm is that? Because last time I watched specific videos on a specific site When you rub those two holes together, the friction just doesn't create a human being. This isn't like the Big Bang Theory, for Christ's sakes, you know? There isn't an explosion and humans come falling out of both of your pussies, you know? Unless you got the attachment down below, but then all right, you know? But I'm going to fucking, you know, jog on a peg leg here and go with a hard stance that I'm going to assume that those things aren't shooting out wads of cum. So how did we get here?
Growing those twins on DoorDash. I've always loved the simple things in life.
Do you? I've always loved the simple things on life, but you're over your wife's shoulder. Order this, order that, order it. Yeah, make sure you get me the fruity tooties. Give me the fruity pizzas and the popcorns and the gummy worms. We gotta put Sour Patch Kids in the popcorn. No, if any man, you're eating raw beef jerky, slugging back Budweisers, yelling at a TV over a sports game that it does not impact your life whatsoever. It will not make it better. It will not make it worse, no matter the outcome of that game. You know, that's the portion of this that gets under my skin with a lot of this shit.
What being a dad is all about.
That's what being a dad's all about. And concession and fucking all this. Who the hell? Nobody. This is female activities. These are female activities. And you can't even deny it. You can't even tell me I am wrong when I say that. That's the part that fucking gets me. Oh, don't tell me I gotta fucking, you know, that's the part that just gets me upset. Now, last but not least, you know, we're an article review show at this point in time because it's all madness out there. Now, here's the next thing we're getting into. For Ukrainians in Canada, new conscription rules increases pressure to fight. Now, we just got over Father's Day, and here, this next article, we're really touching on the community, you know, the community. Soldier on Ukrainian fronts laments those who fled. Okay, Demetrio lives a simple life in Winnipeg. Are you sure about that? I don't think life is simple in Winnipeg. Baking bread at a supermarket or playing volleyball with fellow Ukrainians. Demetrio, who is a non-binary and uses the pronoun they, says they feel safe in a country that accepts them as they are. But they know it's different in Ukraine. You're going to be looked upon as a person who is weak, a person who is afraid, the person who is working for their enemy because they fled the country. Meanwhile, the rest of them are being blown to bits. Now, there is they just passed that females now are going to be entered in the draft in Ukraine, but the they-thems can flee to Canada. Now, don't think that you're going to be dodging another draft. There's another one coming down the pipeline, Buster. You know, if you don't think that Canada's licking their chops, being like, we cannot wait to shovel some fucking folks in front of some tanks in the next little while. Things are heating up. The Russians are putting warships in Cuba, and then Canada's got to go meddle around and send our dinghy over there because, you know, the rest of our artillery is being blown to smithereens by the Ruskies. So we just had to show that we had one ship left. Hey, let's get a good look at this dinghy that has a BB gun duct taped to the front of it and 6 Somalians paddling it. Get a good look at this warship. This thing is halted shipping containers. What? Jesus, Brendan. You're getting out of control on this podcast today. The reason, they didn't want their age or name being used, fearful of being targeted for fleeing the Russia-Ukraine war. In fact, no Ukrainian in Canada that CBC spoke to for this story wanted their full name used. I wonder why. Is there a bit of embarrassment attached to that you fled the country that is being overran by the Ruskies right now? that, I think it's apparent that they are losing the war because we keep shoveling money over there and they keep asking for artillery and arms and any sort of munitions to be sent to them so they can continue to fight. But it's just, they were used in a proxy war and we can't quite wrap our heads around that. We dropped that like it was an old, like, you know what I mean? Like just an old toy. Yeah. Once a new war came around, something with like substance in the majority of the country could get behind and set up their own encampments throughout universities to virtue that they're wonderful people. That's the right thing to do. But meanwhile, this person could have stood and fought for, Ukrainian fucking, I don't know the word to use right then. For Ukrainian patriotism, Ukrainian sovereignty, Ukrainian. You could have just fought against a country that is invading your land. But you didn't. You ran. And we were supposed to what? We're supposed to care? Because you wanted to move to Canada and use they, them as pronouns. And now we're, again, back to the problem of like, well, it's more about me than what's good for the goose isn't great for the gander. The reason Ukraine has recently dropped the conscription age from 27 to 25. Increased fines for draft dodgers to half the average monthly wage and ordered embassies to stop renewing passports for Ukrainian men living abroad. All of this is part of an effort to get them to return home and bolster the military's ranks as the war enters its third summer. New laws require Ukrainian men 18 to 60 to update their draft data with the military conscription centers inside the country, including Dmitro, who has been living in Canada for 18 months. As a result, emotions are running high among those who have fled the war and those on the front lines who feel abandoned. No one is really safe in the bedroom of their modest basement apartment. Dmitro watching a chaotic scene, smartphone video from Ukraine that shows what they fear is the eventual fate and that of their father. So Dad stays about Happy Father's Day. You imagine that text? Imagine getting that text from your son that fled the country. Meanwhile, your old ass has to I thought I was done. I thought it was wrapped up. I thought I didn't have to care anymore. But here we go. I got to pick up arms and fight for this fucking country once again and link arms with actual neo-Nazis and go out there and take on the Ruskies. We got no guns. They're basically just being like, treat this like Call of Duty. If you see a dead body, just use the weapons there. As you drop, we kind of ran out of artillery here. We ran out of any sort of, guns. They're all out in the field spread around. So it's like a Fortnite map. Just think of that. Just tell the kids that this is just a real life Fortnite map. You can do 360 no scopes. Do whatever the hell you want. Just get the fuck back out there. And make sure that these guys don't gain any more land. That's all we need. We just got to pull this off some way, shape, or form. But happy Father's Day, Dad. I can't wait to see you on the news fighting on the front lines of the Ukraine-Russia war. Meanwhile, I'm kicking my feet up playing volleyball, enjoying a nice day baking bread. And I got my own war going on over here in Canada where I have to scold, alt-right men when they misgender me asking for a loaf of sourdough. Excuse me, sir. And it's, sir, what did you say? It's they. And we're all out of sourdough. Carry on. Should snitch on him. There you go. Anybody in Winnipeg, if you catch this guy and he gives you flack about the whole they-them thing, be like, well, looks like I got to call the Ukrainian embassy and let them know where their little fucking star child is. Since you want to create so many problems, why don't you go fight the one at home? I spiked the mic. I'm sorry. That's the war. That's the real war, is the war on pronouns and gender roles amongst our society. We covered a lot today. Happy Father's Day. Happy belated Father's Day to all the dads out there. We thank you. If it wasn't for you busting in, Mom, I wouldn't be here today. So, thanks for not knocking this one out on your stomach. I'm happy to be here. And if you would like another episode of the Uncle Hack podcast, head on over to patreon.com/dangercat69. Remember, subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave a review on iTunes or Spotify. And for any live stand-up tickets, head on over to dangercatshop.com for tickets today. It's a great gift. It's a great Father's Day gift. What can I say? A little late Father's Day. Instead of watching a scary movie with Dad, you can take them to an actual scary movie live, a scary show. Ooh, according to the news, it's scary. You can't go see these guys. They're intimidating. They're all the ists and icks that you see on television. Ooh. See you all next week, and let me know what you think of the new format, ladies and gentlemen. Comment down below.